If every run that you're doing feels like a battle, if you're constantly out of breath, and if you can't get past a certain distance no matter how hard you try, you are in the right place. I used to feel exactly the same way. I could not get past around 3 kilometers until I made one simple change that completely transformed how I run. Because you can actually enjoy running, okay? You've heard it here first. It's something even elite marathons do at aid stations, trail runners will do throughout a run, and even an actual Olympian built an entire method around it to help more people run. But for some reason, there is still a stigma around it. So the thing that has completely transformed my running journey is the run-walk strategy, also known as Jeffing. It's where you alternate between running and walking intervals rather than running for the whole time. It was popularized by Jeff Galloway, who used this method to help people run longer distances with less fatigue and lower the risk of injury. So today I'm going to show you exactly how I use this method, how I set it up on my watch, and why it might be the game changer that you need to fall in love with running. I think something that is very... it's my knee there. I think something that is very normal to feel if you are new to run walking, like maybe you're struggling to run more than a couple of K without stopping. I think the thought of introducing walk breaks might feel like you're regressing or like you're getting worse at running. And it's definitely not the case. Or if maybe you're stuck at like a 5k and you can't get past that, or you find 5k is really difficult and it feels awful all the time, to then listen to me say, why don't you walk a bit more? You might feel like you're going to lose progress, or you're going back on all the progress that you've made. And I just want to tell you that that is not the case, and we need to get you out of that mindset. Throughout this video, you're going to see what an amazing tool run walks are and how beneficial they can actually be. But I think we just need to start at the mindset thing and just think, just try it for me, okay? If you're really skeptical about it, just try it. Before you start judging yourself for taking the easy way out or going back on all the progress that you've made, let's stop those thoughts right there and just try it. Just take a breath. Ready? It's running. It's not that deep. And I promise you, 9 times out of 10, run walking will help you. And people that have tried it have said, Emily, it slaps. Okay, so you're joining me at my desk because the first thing that we need to do is jump on to the computer. We're going to head over to mypacecalculator.com. This is completely free. I'll also leave the link in the description so you can find this super easily. Okay, so now we've got my pace calculator up. We're going to start putting in our run-walk ratio. So assuming that you're brand new to this, you might want to start with really low intervals. For example, 60 seconds of running followed by 60 seconds of walking. So I'm just going to pop in 60 and 60. My running pace tends to be, I mean, depends on the week, but let's say it's around 7:45 per kilometer. You can also switch to miles if you need to as well. And then I do know my walking pace just because I've done this before. So I'm going to set like a leisurely walk, which for me is 12 minutes per kilometer. I am quite a fast walker. I could walk faster than that, but say this is just like a basic walk. We're chilling. And then you click calculate. Now what this is going to bring up your predicted time by distance based on what we've put in. So for example, if I followed this, a 5k would take me around 47 minutes and 5 seconds. And you can basically tweak these to suit your run walking intervals. One thing I will say about this is like, don't guess your numbers and don't put in paces that are unrealistic. The whole point of this is that we are setting very realistic run walk intervals. You might want to start with whatever you feel comfortable with. If you're totally brand new to running, you might want to start with 60 seconds on, 60 seconds off. If you've been running for a bit longer and you want to build up your distance, or maybe you can run a certain amount of time without stopping, but you're finding that you want to run further and not get fatigued as much, you might want to change up the intervals. Like I've said before, I do 3 to 4 minutes of running, but I know people that do 9 minutes of running and 1 minute of walking. It honestly really depends on you, which is why I'm not going to give you like a set thing, because first of all, I'm not a coach, but second of all, it's so personal and it really is like a trial and error process. So just go out, start with lower intervals, figure out what works for you. I think that is going to be your best bet for getting started. And when I've got my distance from my running plan, or like whatever distance you guys want to do, obviously you don't have to be following a running plan. So basically what I'll do is I'll open up my Coros app, I'll go into workout library and I'll click add a workout, and then I'll name the run, and then I set this up as an interval run just because it automatically adds in like 2 intervals for you. So the first one, which is going to be, for me, I'm going to be running for 4 minutes, and I'm going to put the pace 7:45 to 8 minutes. I probably will actually run slower than that today just because it's really hot, but I just like to have it there as a guide and to know like how long a run is also going to take me. And then I'll add the rest in, so it's just a minute to rest, and then I've just put that walking pace in that we spoke about before, so make sure that you put your walking pace in there, and then I just click repeat up until I get to around 3 kilometers. Like it's not an accurate science by any means, but I just really prefer to run with a plan rather than like getting myself down because I'm like, oh, I need to walk because I'm really out of breath. I'm like, no, I've planned to walk, and for me mentally it just works for me. So I'm sure that if you use any other running watches, it'll all do the same thing. So I preset it so that I'm good to go, and then basically I'll show you what it looks like when I'm out running, but I'll get alerts that tell me when it's the start and the end of the next interval, which makes it really mindless. Like I can just put my headphones in, listen to a playlist or a podcast, and then my watch does all the work for me, really. It's kind of that simple. So hopefully now you're coming around to this type of training. So what are the benefits of run walking? There's actually so many. It makes running way less intimidating. Breaking the run into chunks feels mentally easier than having to think, I've got to run the whole thing. And I always tell myself I can do anything for 3 minutes or however long that interval is, and then you get to the end of the interval and you're rewarded with a lovely walk break. Believe it or not, it still builds endurance. You can cover longer distances than if you tried to run the whole thing. It reduces stress on your body, which means that you are less likely to get injured, and it can actually improve your overall pace, believe it or not. I got my half marathon and my 10k PB by using run walk intervals, and I'm pretty confident I would never have been able to hit those times just by running alone. This is probably subjective, but it's just way more fun. There's something about it that is a lot more enjoyable than having to put your body through non-stop movement for however long.
If you've been running for a bit and you've done a plan or whatever, you might be familiar with this kind of training. It's known as interval training. But when I first started doing it, it was just on speed sessions. So I would run faster than usual and either have a walking break or just stop. But you can actually do it for any type of run. Even easy runs. I think obviously the difference is that with a normal like speed interval, you are maybe going like pushing a lot harder, maybe you're going all out, maybe you're doing like a 7 out of 10. But with easy runs, when you get to the end of that interval, you don't want to be out of breath. You want to feel good, and that, yeah, maybe you could carry on, but you still take your rest even if you feel good. So don't leave that running interval feeling knackered and out of breath, because that is not the point, not for an easy run anyway. So that might be like, I don't know, you see intervals, you might think you're running fast, it might cause a bit of confusion. You have permission to run slow and enjoy the run, even if it is part of an interval outside of your speed session. So yeah, I just wanted to clear that up to make sure that I was being as clear as possible, because I know this can all get really confusing. If you're planning on doing run walk intervals in a race, there might be a time, like if you're using it for the first time in a race, at the start when you've got loads of energy, you probably are going to feel like you want to just go for it and kind of be like, oh, I feel so great so early on, I'm just going to like change up my ratios, or I'm just going to run faster. Please don't do that. Problem with doing that, like the point of run walk intervals is that you actually start walking before you need to, because that way you're going to conserve more energy. And if you shoot off, yeah, you feel great at the start because you've got the adrenaline and all of that stuff, but it will catch up with you, I promise. You might feel really silly with people overtaking you when you start walking early on, but everyone is in their own race. So please, whatever you do, just make sure that you stick to what you've trained for, and just know that it is the right thing for you, no matter how alien or weird it feels. Like, you have trained for it, you know what you're capable of from the training and from the intervals that you've practiced. So please, for me, just stick to it, and I promise you, when you get like halfway, 3/4 of the way through the race, you're really glad that you stick to it.
I hope that was all clear, but if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's that running doesn't need to look the same for everyone. You can run, or you can run walk and still be a runner. If you feel like you benefit from Jeffing, then give it a go and let me know what you think. I'd really appreciate if you could like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah.